Hello and welcome to this week's Sonic Talk number 431. I'm afraid I feel slightly reprieved. This is the Christmas issue and I couldn't find my hat. I looked everywhere for my Christmas hat and I could not find it, so I'm ever so sorry. For those of you who've been waiting all year for me to wear my Christmas hat, I just apologise deeply. I also want to say thank you to our show sponsors, Isotope, who will be bringing you the winners of the Ozone 7 competition a little bit later on in the show. Also, there's a chance to win another one over a couple of weeks because it's the last show until the new year because I'm taking some time off and I don't care who doesn't like it. So I also want to say thank you very much to UVI. Falcon is the creative hybrid instrument from UVI. For more information, go to bit.ly/stfalcon. That's it from our sponsors. Thank you very much to all of those. And we have a full panel this week. I have no idea what's going to go on in this show. I'm personally not drinking, but I've seen that one of the panellists is, as is fair enough. I mean, this is Christmas. He might be at an office party for all we know. I just don't know. So anyway, let's say hello to... where can we start? We'll start. We haven't seen Ty for some time, so I'll say hello to Mr. Ty Unwin. How are you, Ty?
Hello.
Ty is...
Fine, thank you.
Hardest working composer and synth collector in the business. We haven't seen him for a while. We've been hoping to get him on, but he's just too busy. Are you going to take some time off, Ty?
I'm going to take a bit of time off over Christmas, which is a bit of a rarity. Many a Christmas I've just worked Christmas Day, but not this year. So no, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you. Looking forward to it.
So it's a luxury.
Really am. It is. No, it is a luxury, and even if I do come down, I have a feeling I may just play with new toys and do the normal thing that we all. Actually, talking of new toys, I have to just say after Gaz last week. Oh, bear with me 1 second.
Oh, Vermona. My Vermona.
Now, you see, yeah, it's. I'd love to say that it was having watched Gaz waxing lyrical that I went and bought it, but the reality was that Gaz and I had been talking the weekend before, and we were almost egging one another on, going, "No, go on, you buy it. No, it looks good," and it had completely fallen off my radar. And it was only having spoken to Gaz where he was going, "I'm going to order one." I was going, I looked at it. And so I bought one as well. They arrived on the same day. And we had all these emails going, "Oh, it's amazing. It's fantastic." But they really are amazing. They really are fantastic. So
excellent.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm very glad to hear that, Ty. And I guess in terms of, it's not another polysynth anyway. So it's something slightly different from you.
Exactly. So
Mixing
and at the moment, I've just been wasting, if I want those kind of sounds, I've been wasting, kind of hardware monosynths just to go and it seems a bit of a waste. So, no, it's fantastic.
Excellent. I will look forward to hearing it in a period drama soon. Anyway, Ty, thank you very much for joining us. I guess we should go to Gaz next because he was just briefly mentioned there. Gaz is there dressed a bit like Jesus. If you turn to the side and look up as if heavenward, no, the other way. If you go the other way, there, that's it. And you do that thing with your hand. There we go. How are you, Gaz? Gaz, you're the one who's at a party, right?
Yes. So halfway through my first bottle of left, so it's early days. But I've managed to sneak off and find a little room to.
Wow!
So take
I've
part
just got
today.
I'm at a party, but I'm just going to nip off and broadcast. Excellent. I admire your dedication, as I'm sure do all of the people in the chat room who I haven't mentioned yet. Here they are. Hello, everybody in the chat room. Welcome to you, one and all. Gaz, it's great to have you aboard. Thank you very much, and also thanks for your great work on the Cubase 8.5 and the God damn it, the circuit review. That's what I was trying to say. Both gone down very well. In fact, circuit is quite interesting. It's got a new firmware and a new synth editor, which look quite interesting.
I mean, that synth editor is just a Max for Live or a Max standalone only. So
I think it might have just turned up as PC standalone as well. I think Darren, because Darren posted in the comments. I'd have to check, but it might be possible.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I think that the circuit it's a great unit, but I think really this is the thing that's going to sort of really make
it up a bit.
Open it up, yeah, because I think if you haven't seen the review or don't know about it, I mean, it's such a cool unit, but it is a bit frustrating as when we were playing with it, Nick. We were kind of oops.
Sorry, I just saw that in there. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy, which is a classic Life of Brian quote.
and very true as well. I've been such a naughty boy, actually. I mean, buying that Vermona was one thing. I did actually buy an Erebus the other day as well, which was something that I'd been threatening.
You will not. That came very. No, it didn't come top. It came quite close to the top in our poll, but I can thoroughly recommend.
It's so good. It's such a cool little box. I think in that its raw sound is so pleasing. Absolutely beautiful, pleasing sound. And it's great. Although mine is a bit funny with the MIDI, so I don't know if that's something you experienced. Yeah. It seems to only just trigger a single note for a while, and then suddenly that's working. So it takes.
That's odd.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's 100% well, but and I've been driving that with the BeatStep Pro, which is something that's turning into a lot of fun, and driving the Vermona with the BeatStep Pro as well, as I think we touched on last week. But the Erebus, I mean, it's a lovely thing. I mean, when I went into the store in Bristol, Elevator Sound, it's really cool. Bristol's got its own little sort of synth specialist store now, Elevator Sound, well worth checking out. And just as I was looking at the Erebus, what should arrive? The Moog Mothers arrived just as I was there, and the guy opened the box and cracked them out, and I was like, ooh. So looking. No, you
made the right choice, I think.
You reckon?
We got I got 3 Moog Mothers arrived yesterday. So I'm afraid there won't be any reviews over Christmas because I'm not working, but there will be hopefully before we go to NAMM. That's the plan. They wanted to send 3 because they wanted me to put it in the case and it to look sexy and stuff. And I was playing with it yesterday, and it's great fun. But I have to say that from early experimentation, the filter on it in low pass mode, as soon as you introduce any resonance, the bass just disappears completely. It's not as sophisticated a filter as perhaps on other Moog products.
Well, that's the thing with the Erebus. It's incredible, the bottom end, when you turn the resonance up. The bottom end just blooms. It's beautiful. It's
Did I mention in the review, I think, that it's the only synth I've ever had the neighbours complain while I've been reviewing it.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm
2-pole filters, man. Beautiful.
Funnily enough, the Sledge is something which I've been having a lot of fun with, and I think that the 12 dB filter on the Sledge is better than the 24 dB filter, actually. I sort of prefer it.
I love a bit of 12 dB action. Anyway, let's get on. Also, we have Robbie Bronniman from... let's see. Are you back home?
I'm back home, and I'm very excited.
Very excited. Do I see a large piece of cardboard that might be some sort of box?
When I got home, when I got home, I've been waiting on this. I bought this little projector I had to get from Amazon US. It's a Sony projector,
right?
High definition projector, and I can use it to display Logic, and it's so cool because it's like high def, and I've just been watching trailers and stuff with it. But as you can see,
wow!
And it projects up to 100 inches.
Bloody
and as you can see, it's about the size of an iPhone.
Wow! So can you actually use it with Logic? What's the resolution? Is it 1920 or is it bigger?
I just very quickly tried it, and it is. So I thought in a hotel room, if I wanted to do some work, just instead of peering at a little iPod Air, a MacBook Air screen, that would be cool for that.
Wow. Does it get very hot? I notice you're touching the edges.
It doesn't get hot. It hasn't even got a fan in it.
Wow. I'm afraid to ask you how much it was, but I'm going to.
£220.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I can see everybody's going to want one of those. That has got to be Gizmo of the Year there, right there.
And of course I've got my lovely Dave Smith Prophet 6 module now.
Oh.
Which is
I'm feeling incredibly under equipment. I mean, I did get 3 Moog Mothers, but they're going to be going back fairly soon, I guess. So, damn. What did I buy? I bought this. I bought a £15 multimeter from the local tool shop. That's my. What else did I get? No, that's it, really. I'm afraid I don't have anything else exciting. What else did I buy? I bought a few things for my Raspberry Pi, but that's about it. And I'm trying to get it work. Anyway, Mark Tinley is also here. Mark Tinley, man of mystery. I'm afraid I didn't get your lower third. You're a slightly late addition, so I hope you'll forgive your anonymity, although you would never be anonymous. Have you cut all your hair off?
No.
Oh. Okay. Oh, you've gone for.
Oh no, it's not got enough gel in it. I'm going all psychobilly, so I've removed it from the sides and back, but I could do this massive, great big quiff. I was thinking about having a pink quiff, actually.
Yeah,
do it.
You could do it, and you could do a shampoo horn. You could do a shampoo horn as well, can't you? When you wash your hair.
I was inspired because I've still been doing this VHS video ingest thing from the 80s, and I was rather inspired by King Kurt.
Oh yes, I remember.
Come on, boys!
I remember them. I had a friend of mine was the guitarist in King Kurt for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's the guy with the best hair, actually. I mean, one of them just has this huge kind of quiff.
Yeah, he did have a pretty huge quiff. He was called Jazz, I remember.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Great guitarist as well. And I do remember he was in King Kurt. Mark Tinley, pleased to have you aboard. It's a pleasure to have you all. Happy Christmas to you all and all of those things. I suppose we should probably get on with some topics, although we don't have to. This is frankly fairly... Look, why don't we start with something really Christmassy? How about that? You ready?
Okay, do it.
I wonder if we'll get busted for this. Gonna bear with it. I heard underneath the mistletoe there, definitely. We got it at least when the beat comes in. Ready? Oh, stop warbling. Get on with it. Here we go. I won't subject you to too much more of that because it's a really fascinating, because it's a friend of ours who works for BuzzFeed found this, and this is somebody basically took the MP3 of the Christmas classic by Mariah Carey, and I actually thought that she didn't write that. I thought that was a Ronettes or something, but it was her original, which is fair play.
1994. I think,
turned it into an MP3, I guess an FFT kind of MP3, which was then played via on sort of piano MIDI file. So it's a kind of cross between the Black MIDI thing, but also the I don't know what else. That's the talking piano kind of thing that we did before. And what's really interesting about this, if you've heard the song before and you can bear to listen all the way through, you can definitely, or at least I could definitely hear the occasional snippet of her actual vocal articulation, like the sound of the words, which is a really interesting phenomenon. And this story went absolutely massive. I mean, hardly surprising because it came from BuzzFeed, who are the actual sort of the geniuses at those sort of stories, and very kindly passed it on to us, which we also hanged on the tailcoats of that. But really interesting phenomena. And I just wondered. So first, quick poll, Robbie, did you hear that? Did you hear the vocal in there?
I did. I must admit, I need to listen to it again. I don't know if it's because I know that. I'd have to listen to it again. I don't know if it's because I'm anticipating, because I just subliminally I know that song in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's tricking me that I'm hearing the occasional.
It's funny you should say that, and we'll come on to that in a second. Okay, Ty, did you hear any vocal articulations?
I did hear vocal articulations, and I did hear some words, but that was kind of mixed in with me really wanting to go and stick my head in the oven, because that seemed like a better prospect than listening to.
It seems to generate that kind of reaction from people. Yeah.
It just sounds like, I mean, I don't drink, I'm teetotal, and it sounds like if I did have a few drinks and just sat at a pub piano and just played, with your
forearms. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You can hear it, and I think I've got an idea why.
Yes.
We'll come to that.
We'll come to that too.
We'll come to that.
Gaz, yes or no?
Well, I have blasted it at the party, actually.
Oh no, you're not DJing at this party, are you? No wonder they've locked. You haven't left the party for the podcast. They've locked you in a room to keep you away from the decks.
It's a little bit
at Gaz's party.
I'd kill.
When you in the end part of the song, because yes, I listened to the whole thing. You can definitely hear the vocals coming in, like the backing vocal. It's like the kind of vote. I don't know if it's like a backing vocal bit, but like the baby bit towards the end, like the ooh baby thing. You can really hear that. I think that's that's the clearest part where I thought I could really hear the articulation kind of coming through. I would say it's if you can bear to listen to it all. Actually, I found it strangely pleasing to listen to.
Really?
Yeah, but I am in a party.
A party
slowly descending. Yeah, but but honestly, I think it's such a great song. I love it. If that makes me I don't know. I just think it gets me. Yeah, it gives me that thing that This is a tiny little rant. X Factor in Britain has killed the Christmas song. We don't have Christmas songs
we have
anymore.
Bloody four entries, don't we?
Because we have the X Factor dominates the charts, so Christmas songs have kind of gone. We just don't get them anymore. Or if they're released, they just don't make any impact because the stinking, shitty X Factor kind of.
No, that's not true though. This year's not true because the two forerunners for Christmas #1 that are within 600 units of each other. I just heard on the radio is Justin Bieber. And this community choir who've done a Christmas song. I don't know what it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So I immediately thought, great, it means that the X Factor isn't going to dominate the #1 spot this year.
Ah, okay. Well, before we get too far into it, Mark, did you hear anything? Vocal-wise?
Well, it depends what you mean by did I hear anything, because...
Well, I don't know. It's a fairly straightforward question.
In the experience of being... Okay, so I'm going to go all woo-woo on you, but in the experience of being Mark, there was a perception that Mariah Carey's voice was somewhere in the middle of that noise.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the idea.
It was as if she was there.
It's interesting.
Quite a lot of it, actually.
That's really interesting. And well, here's the science. Apparently, it's something called top-down processing, where if you had never heard that song before, then you wouldn't hear it because you know it, and there is a certain amount of it residually in your subconscious. Your brain tries to fill in the gaps and recognises, oh look, there it is, and so therefore the perception of it is greater. And you get the same thing with there's a whole load of things about colour processing where you saw a black and white picture and then you were shown a version of the picture with a strong colour field, and then it flipped back and suddenly the picture actually looks like it's colour. And it's a very similar kind of principle whereby your brain will fool itself into thinking it can hear the stuff that is articulated there, because obviously the way that MIDI file was done would seem to be frequency based rather than just carrying the tune. So it's we did hear there was a German talking piano, which was very distinct before, but it was only trying speech. It wasn't trying to carry the tune at the same time. So there you go. Go, Mark.
I was going to say, have you ever bought a second-hand car? This is
yes,
it's the
many
same
times.
Phenomena.
Mostly, in fact.
We create like an internal mental simulation of our external world. So, and in the case of the eyes, 90% of the what's it called? The little. I'm going to call them little wires because
neurotransmitters. That'll do. Synapses.
Yeah, those things. 90% of those come out of the eye and go direct into memory, and only 10% come up into the visual cortex. That's what I'm thinking of. So most of what we see is a mental simulation of what's actually there in the world. So when you go to buy a new car, you're so overwhelmed with all of the information being presented to you that you miss nearly all of the faults when you're buying a second-hand car. Once you've owned a car for a week, you just start noticing stuff and you just think, I didn't notice that scratch was there. And eventually, as your brain owns the car, or as you own the car for long enough, your brain will start to create a true mental picture of that car, and you'll just start to find like loads of things wrong with it.
A perfect example of what we were talking about then.
So it's the same phenomena, yeah.
Robbie, you were going to come in there. What was
I was just going to say something very different. Whenever I hear these things, or these Black MIDI things, I think I've told the story on this show before. I won't say it again. It just reminds me of the time I broke my uncle's pianola playing the William Tell Overture too fast. Just pumped it for all it was.
Overclocked it.
The thing is,
very popular.
Anyway. It seems to me like a very acoustic stroke organic stroke real version of resynthesis in a really, do you know what I mean? It's like it's almost the same kind of concept as resynthesis where like additive synthesis where everything gets stripped down into essentially sine waves and
harmonics. It's a similar kind of concept, I guess.
And then when they move in real time, you get resynthesis, and all this really is using the kind of the piano sound, switch the piano notes as a very rough kind of resynthesis.
You're absolutely right. I suppose a more accurate headline would have been Mariah Carey resynthesized, but I thought Mariah Carey, what the hell are you doing in my MIDI file was more eye-catching. So
I think it's more accurate, to be fair.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say, I think what we need to kind of differentiate here is what Gaz was saying about the actual song itself. I mean, I cannot stand Mariah Carey, but as a Christmas song, I'm well up for Christmas songs. I love Christmas songs, and sorely miss them, really miss them. And as Christmas songs go, I have to say it's up there. I don't like a woman, I don't like a voice, but it's a fantastic Christmas song.
Yeah, no, she's done a good job, and one she can presumably retire on, which is all of us. We have talked about this topic before, as like all we want for Christmas is actually a Christmas song that we wrote, which would be the way to go, wouldn't it?
Can I just one thing that's very topical on that is I was at a festival in the summer, and what are they called? Bananarama were there, and obviously one of Bananarama's married to Andrew Ridgeley from Wham. And he was saying how a couple of years ago George Michael, as a Christmas present, signed him over the rights to Last Christmas.
Wow!
What?
Yeah.
Wow! That is a hell of a present, isn't it?
Yeah. So that is all you want for Christmas. Is a Christmas song, and one of them like that.
I'll have them after he's finished with them, definitely. I was going to tell you about my second-hand car story, which was when I was in my younger days. I decided I was going to go to a car auction, and I got the train to Westbury, which is 30-40 miles away, and I saw this car, and it was a bit like somebody that I knew had one. And I knew, oh yeah, that's all right, and I saw it, and I had to bid on it there and then. So I bid on it, and I remember I can't remember what it was, 200 quid or something, which back then was a bit more than it is now, so not very much. The question would have been, have you ever bought a new car? The answer is no. But anyway, so I saw this car and I went up to it and it looked great, and then I turned around, I went around the other side, and on the other side of it was the whole of it was just stove in, and I was there just thinking, oh my god, what have I done? It won't even go on the road, I can't get it home, what am I going to do? And I was walking around for ages thinking, oh, that's the end of, that's just it, I'm ruined. And I went up to kind of like deal with it. They said actually it didn't reach its reserve price, they're not selling it. It was like, oh wow. Thank God for that. If that had been Christmas, that would have been a really good Christmas present. But anyway, that's pretty irrelevant to the topic, apart from just linking it in together. So anyway, yeah, Mariah Carey. Actually, the user was called Formal Dahari. And you can check. There's a story of it on the site, so I'll check that out. Well, we're on the topic of topical. Did anyone see these microphones that had been Star Wars-ized by Blue? That R2D2 mic there, and there's a sort of C3PO. I thought they were rather lovely.
Brilliant.
It's a great idea. Oh, look at that! And that little droid thing. That's the blue ball, I guess. Or no,
BB-8.
BB-8. I've not seen. Has anyone seen Star Wars yet? Gaz.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's really good.
Is it really?
Really enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Well worth seeing.
I'm still smarting from Jar Jar Binks, where I just never want to see another Lucas film in my life.
I was worried that BB-8 was going to be a bit of a Jar Jar Binks, just in there for the kids. But I love him. Whatever it is. But yeah, he just it's a love affair. I think beginning really BB-8.
Really?
It's
Do you think the roses will sway it? Do you think it'll probably you're going to be a knock on the door Christmas morning and it'll be DB8 for you? Is it BB8 or DB8?
BB.
Should
BB8,
be,
yeah.
Should be really DV8. That would be even slightly more subversive, wouldn't it? But
do you want to know my Star Wars story?
Oh yeah.
If you haven't seen Star Wars and you've got reservations, don't. It's super. It's
okay,
really
I will see it. And we have Mr. Ty Unwin coming in with a Star Wars anecdote.
It's only because it's a Star Wars anecdote only because it's related to music as well.
Oh, even better.
In the summer, Hewlett Packard. I've done some adverts for Hewlett Packard in America, and they kind of got in touch about they were bringing out a new laptop that was a themed laptop, and they couldn't tell me what the film was going to be, but they said it's to a big film, and was I available? So I had to sign all these NDAs before I found out what it was, and it ended up it was for Star Wars.
Ooh.
Which was great. So it was a good advert. So I saw a lot of the footage of the late summer for the film, but they wanted to incorporate the sound design aspects as well. So they actually sent me a folder with all of the sound effects from the film.
Ah, whoa!
And I had to sift through all these.
Oh, what a tedious chore.
Sound effects. Yeah, well, I know, but the thing is, I have to be honest, I'm not really a Star Wars fan.
That's unfortunate.
I know, I'm sure that some people would be really excited about this. So I just had this folder full of gigs and gigs of sound effects and sound design and this kind of thing, having to sift through them and incorporate them in. But all the time I was going through them thinking, this really isn't turning me on at all, but I'm sure that someone would get very excited about hearing the sound of an X-Wing fighter or Millennium Falcon going past and 79 different versions of and whatever.
Mark, what are you going to do? Did you use them? Did you actually find enough to kind of to connect with?
I didn't use a huge amount, to be fair. I didn't use a huge amount because I was too busy writing. It had to be big and epic. And the nice thing about it is that they wanted it to kind of be a bit Star Wars-esque, but not Star Wars. But because it was all getting approved through Disney and Lucasfilms, it meant that I could kind of do whatever, really, and they wouldn't go on until they approved it. So
did you? Okay, right. Good. So I'm thinking in my mind, you must have smothered it in synthesizers. And
I didn't.
Did you smother it in any synthesizer at all? What's the Star Wars? What's your best Star Wars synth then?
I actually used quite a lot of the Voyager XL.
Actually, okay.
Yeah, it was all. To be fair, it was very.
It's got a space theme. I like it. Voyager.
Voyager XL. Yeah, I only chose whichever synth had a space themed name. Anything else?
So you have Jupiter's and Voyager. That's it. Andromeda. Yeah. I suppose you could have had.
I could if I had one, but
well, there's your problem right there.
What? Sorry,
sorry. Was that Ty without a landmark synthesizer? I can't believe that.
I feel like I've let you
down. You must be feeling so inadequate right now.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm going. Sorry, I've let you all down.
Mark, save us. You must have been see Star Wars. You've got a boy of a certain age. He must have been all over this, right?
He's just absolutely not interested in it. Doctor Who or Sherlock, and he likes anything written by Mark Gatiss, and I think Mark Gatiss might be his hero. So I can see a future round of League of Gentlemen coming our way soon, but he's only 10, so it might be a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, a bit too weird. Yeah.
Although Sherlock is really dark and weird in places, and actually Doctor Who's got darker and weirder now. They're putting it on after The Watershed, so although he's still watching it, but no, Star Wars, people keep asking me if I'm going to go and see it, and it's all a bit. I mean, I saw the first one when I was very young in Weymouth, and me and my brother Adam were the only people in the whole place, and it was when it kind of first came out.
Yeah, and everybody thought it was going to stiff, which it nearly did.
So that was kind of weird.
And frankly, it should have. It was a shocker, really. But
the first Star Wars film.
Well, okay. I'm just
Gaz.
What? How could? Look, I suppose really, I should say those blue mics aren't for sale. They've just been made, for a bit of fun. For obviously, maybe it was a mufti day or a special project day at Blue Microphones. In fact, if you look,
If you look at the R2D2 one, you can see looks like blue felt tip pen.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's Sharpie. They didn't quite get that edge square, did they? It's sort of
And the cutest thing about this, the valve.
The valve, yeah. Oh yeah, that's at the bottom, isn't it? That is very cute.
Do you know the thing that I thought was when I looked at the C3PO one, it's got the two kind of rivets right in the middle of the grill. I'm so stupid. I looked at it. Yeah, if you go up it, yeah, and I was thinking that's got to affect the sound. That's the first thing.
I think you're probably right there. Anyway, this feels like a good moment to perhaps have a word from our sponsor, because as we know, it's been a year, and Isotope have been a great supporter of the show, and it's much appreciated. So let's hear it for Isotope. Now, I've got an ad here. Let's see if I can get it to work, because as is traditional, it doesn't play until I press the button a few times. And today is no different. There we go. Ozone 7, ladies and gentlemen.
Produce rich, full, professional-sounding tracks with the critically acclaimed mastering tools in Ozone and Ozone Advanced. Now, the latest Isotope innovations in Ozone 7 bring modern and vintage processing to the forefront of the music production experience. Updated for Ozone 7, Ozone's highly regarded maximizer features a brand new frequency-specific IRC4 algorithm that delivers transparent mixes with less pumping and distortion. Use it to smooth out an unwieldy mix, or tame the kick drum peaks without affecting the vocals. The Dynamic EQ, now in both the advanced and standard versions of Ozone, lives and breathes with your audio, giving you more effective control over your sound without coloring your entire mix. Harness the precision of an equalizer and the musical ballistics of a compressor in one integrated processor.
Indeed you can. I've just listened to that again. There's a really nice little bass riff underneath that last section. But anyway, Isotope Ozone 7, if you're into mastering and you need to maximize, or you just want to process dynamic EQ, all sorts of stuff, isotope.com/Ozone 7. And of course, we ran a competition last week, and the winner of the said competition can be announced right now. And then afterwards, we will be announcing the new competition. So last week, we asked you to tweet dynamic EQ and Ozone 7 hashtags to at Sonic State, not at Isotope Inc. At Isotope Inc. If I can get my words out, I haven't even been drinking yet. At Peak Fiddler is the chap or chapess who won it. He said, really good bit of variety in this week's show. That was last week. Looking forward to watching Gaz's electronic drum demo, which has not been forthcoming just yet, but I'm sure he's working on it. So congratulations, Peak Fiddler, for the win. And of course, this competition is going to run for a couple of weeks because we're taking a week off. So if you want to enter with a chance to win Ozone 7 over Christmas, the hashtag for Christmas, I thought it'd be Christmassy, and the hashtag Ozone 7 at Sonic State and at Isotope Inc. For those of you listening on the audio, I'll repeat that. The hashtag for Christmas, one word, and the hashtag Ozone 7, that's Ozone, and the number 7 as one word, to at Sonic State and at Isotope Inc. will enter you into the compo. And once again, thanks, folks, for the sponsorship. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, it'll change your life. Ozone 7, enter the competition.
It changed Gaz's life.
Amazing. Look. It is.
Actually, just talking about electronic drums, can I just say that do you remember a couple of months ago we looked at the Mandela, the V3, the drum pads. Do you remember? And
yes. Did you get them?
Which were amazing. And so I ordered those, and they never got anywhere near their required amount.
That's a shame.
Well short. I think they only made like $40,000 or something. So
what were they looking for?
What was it?
It was like
quite a lot, actually.
Okay. It was a lot.
It was quite a lot, but they never even got near it. I mean, I think it's like. So I'm not.
Was that the
I can't say what I am.
Like 400,000 samples for each drum.
Yeah.
Well, you could do. Yeah. I mean, it was. That's a real shame because it did look very promising, didn't it? But never mind.
It looked amazing. So I'm hoping that one way and another they will still make it to market, but just in a different form or whatever. But very annoying.
That is a shame.
And actually, can I just point out something as well while we're at it? One issue with the whole Indiegogo system is when we're doing the currency conversion, this is the third thing that I've ordered now that hasn't made it. And so they take your money and then depending on the currency exchange, when they then pay your money back,
the dollar being very strong at the moment. Yeah,
how much did
you can kind of lose. You can lose quite a lot of money. So I lost quite a bit on this. The one I really made, I ordered one of the one of the new one of the. Oh God, what was it? Robbie, help me. What was the Syntax? So I ordered one of those earlier on in the year, and that never made it.
Oh,
and I lost a good few £100
on the conversion.
We're not talking, not £100 or £200. I lost a lot more than that just on when it didn't make it. They converted back. Yeah.
Oh, that's watch out, folks.
That's it. Just be careful if you're going
a cautionary tale.
Yes. Sorry. Carry on.
Yes, hold on. Hello to Hiltonius in the chat room. Rich Hilton there. Happy Christmas to you, mate. Obviously, we have a limited number of people that we get on the panel, but we want to say hi to Rich Hilton in the chat room. Always good to have you, even at a slight distance as it is now. Anyway, who was that?
I can capitulate to Rich.
No. I think he will. I don't know if he's available or not. But and to be honest,
he said in an email earlier on that he was just going to come on the chat room and
listen to our witty banter.
Why do you want to get back to your party then, Gaz?
Mes amis, I will happily just troll along in the chat room.
Okay, well that's all right. Okay, but
and happy Christmas.
Season's great, and to him. So, Gaz, are you being hassled to go back and DJ? They can't get enough of your
No. I think I am now lost in this room.
You are. They realised it was you that put that MP3 on. Right, let's get on. I think we've got a couple more topics. But Ty, you could buy one of these. And do this kind of thing. Actually, this is quite interesting. It's Mesa Digital and it's NSC32, Australian company, I believe. And the concept is obviously a massive 32 by. Is it 32 by 32? I think it might be. That's almost Good Life, isn't it? Not
it
quite.
Is, yeah.
That's exactly what I heard.
Anyway, there's loads of this kind of demo. I mean, it's not a most fascinating demo, but it's lots of blinky lights. And it's quite an interesting idea. I mean, it's a very big kind of... It takes the grid sequencer to a whole new level. And we have a little topic about this as well, which Gaz introduced. I know, Robbie, are you interested in this kind of thing? It would look good on stage, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do like these things, but I mean, you have to... I mean, I was chatting to Gaz. I went around his house the other day and we were talking about this. And something so big like that, you're going to have to really, and there's obviously no legending at all. So you've just got to orientate yourself with that and use it in a live situation. I'm sure you can do it, and I'm sure people will do it, but you've got to put quite a lot in, I think, to really kind of, without making a serious sort of Les Dawson cock up. I mean, just one move and the whole thing's gone picked up, hasn't it? I mean, really, literally. But, I mean, I like it. I think it's great. I mean, I don't think it's tremendously crazy money at $1,200.
No, I didn't think so either.
That kind of size, and it looks like it's very well made. So I reckon it will find its place on stage with some people.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think it could do, and it's an interesting idea. I just wondered if there's any. Mark, are you a kind of? You're not really step sequencer. You go for more real time stuff, don't you? No.
No, but I'm getting into this launchpad thing. That looks like it's 8 launch pads all glued together, doesn't it?
It's kind of similar-ish, yeah. But actually, you could buy. Could you buy 8 launch pads? Yeah, small launchpad S's you could buy for that price. Much less than that price.
Yeah. What? Does it operate completely standalone? Then is that what they're saying? Because
it's got. If we look here, it has.
Or do I have to plug it in a computer?
It's got MIDI outs, hasn't it?
Right, so it's completely standalone.
Can be by the looks of it. I should have probably found out. It connects to because it makes no sound of it. It connects to a synthesizer, sampler, DAW via MIDI or USB. Yeah, so you've got choice.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with my laptop. Thank you.
Well, that's fair enough. I think that's fair enough.
Thank you for making it. It looks interesting.
Ty.
I think for the right people, I think there's a lot of people that will love this, and I think it's great. I mean, it's not for me. I think it's if you're gonna go into step sequencing, it's a kind of ultimate step sequencer. But I think the fact that 3 of us have more or less said exactly the same thing, which is
you need to be that person.
When you've got no legend, there's no labeling. You've got to you've got to really learn it. And as Robbie said, you know, the chances of absolutely screwing up just by pressing the wrong button is
legion.
Nah. I mean, it's just not for me. I mean, but you know, for the kind of person that loves step sequencing and they want the kind of ultimate step sequencer, and more to the point, is willing to really dedicate a lot of time to really learn it as an instrument, then it's fantastic. I'm definitely not.
You're not that person. I mean, it does 6 sequences simultaneously, and you can store. I thought I saw something in it. I know, Gaz, is something that you would. I mean, you know, you've just bought a BeatStep Pro, which is obviously it is a similar concept in terms of 3 sequences on top of each other. You know, using pads, but obviously, you know, more labelled and easier to learn, probably.
Yeah, it's interesting. The first thing it made me think of actually was Eigenharp, you know, with that idea of lots and lots of buttons and no legending. And I mean, I think this thing is, if you had one in front of you, I think is quite an awesome thing. But the other, well, you know, and if you invest that sort of money in a piece of hardware, you're going to want to make it work for you. So I think
Rich is just clarifying for us in the chat room that it's huge. It certainly is, Rich. That's true. But I'm guessing those sort of. I mean, the thing is, with something that size and that, you know, if you had an iPad Pro, you could get, you know, a similar amount of things.
That does sort of lead on to this other topic that I hope we're going to discuss in a moment. But I was thinking though, if 2015 is going to be remembered in the music tech world as anything, it's definitely going to be the year of the hardware step sequencer. I mean, amongst
other things, I think you're right. Yeah,
you know, the Engine, the BeatStep Pro, the Squap. I like saying that, the Squap Pyramid, and this
SQ1.
You know.
SQ1, yeah,
I think that's this year. So, I mean, you know, it's definitely interesting that this step sequencer trend is something that's, you know, become such a physical, you know, it's turned into this, all these different physical versions of it. But you do kind of wonder with say, an iPad and certainly an iPad Pro, whether you could achieve essentially the same things. I mean, there is 6 sliders on there, so there is some tactile sort of sliders, but the actual
6
the button stuff, a touchpad can kind of do that.
Yeah, I suppose the tactile.
You wouldn't. But it's the same because I mean I've got a real. I've actually just bought an iPad Pro actually, which was it's not as big as I thought it was going to be. To be fair, I know I should just know by size, but I'm a man, so we always think that things are bigger than they actually are. So, but anyway, it wasn't quite as impressive size-wise, but it's a bit like I've got a Tenorion, and then I've got the Tenorion on the iPad, and the difference. It's the same old thing that we keep coming back to again and again and again and again, which is there's a physicality about something, you know, hardware, and so. The Tenorion on my iPad feels very much like a plaything because it feels, you know, it doesn't work as well as a touch device as it does with those little buttons on the actual physical Tenorion. Yeah. And I imagine this will be the same. Gaz, you're exactly right. You could probably get with an iPad Pro, you could get a similar kind of setup to this and similar kind of concept, but it'll never feel the same as actually having a big lump of stuff. Wood or plastic or metal.
But there is this thing though. If you were to buy it and invest into it, you know, the time you're going to spend or should spend if you do that is, you know, you're gonna want to make it work, you know. And I guess you could put little pieces of, I don't know, little stickers or little things onto it just to give you a few visual kind of.
I'd imagine
I always put stickers on things.
So do I.
I'm a very much a stickers on things kind of guy. Look.
Now, one of the
Can I just say, now I want you to go to Robbie's face just at the thought of Robbie putting stickers on things. So let's just go to Robbie's face now. How about putting stickers on things?
I'm all right with stickers on things if it's been done properly on a nice little Dymo machine or something.
Look, I've done it properly.
Let's have a look.
I always
properly.
Yeah, you're the same as me, Mark.
When I helped put together the rig for the Thompson Twins tour last year, a certain keyboard player called Angie Pollock.
She's a big sticker fiend.
Yeah.
She is.
On the first day of rehearsal, she promptly got all these bits of gaffer tape and all sorts of crap, and this lovely rig that was all set up lovely. She just put all this tape over all the keys and all over the panel.
I know that one.
I was having kittens going, this has just ruined all the... Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just step in then and go, it's me that's got the problem, because I can honestly say I've never, ever stuck a sticker ever on any bit of gear I've ever
You know how to get them off, don't you?
And I've never...
What? How do you do that?
WD-40 is the best way to remove all that stuff.
Can I just say, the time you always come totally when it fails you
unstuck.
is when you pull all your unstuck. You pull all your studio apart, and then you, for whatever reason, do a rewire. And if you haven't put stickers on your power supplies,
yes, right.
all these power supplies, and if they aren't actually branded ones for the gear,
I will.
I'm stickers on power supplies as well.
Yeah, right here we get lots of power supplies in, as you can imagine, for all sorts of things, and I've got a massive bucket of them. And every time I identify them, I stick a bit of tape on and write on it. And now I write, as soon as anything comes in, I write on the power supply, because otherwise it will just get assimilated.
Yeah, exactly.
What I was going to say, one of the things I liked about the Novation circuit was, say you went to sort of the tempo, it uses the kind of pads to display the tempo. It lights up the tempo. And I was thinking, with this thing, the resolution you could actually get in terms of displaying text and various things.
You could have song lyrics.
You could. I'm wondering whether a certain amount of the lack of labelling could be addressed by.
It could be. It doesn't seem to have, though, does it? There's no demonstration. No. If you'd gone to all that trouble, you'd probably show it in the demo.
I don't understand why all the other products they make have massive, great big screens in the middle of them. Their Tri-Bass and their Katara have all got screens, so why can't they have a screen on this somewhere?
Oh, that's maybe, yeah. Well, I guess what would that be? That would be 32 by 32. Anybody? 32 times 32 is quite a lot. 3 3s, 9. Yeah.
1,024.
1,000.
No.
Hold
I
on.
could be completely wrong.
I'm gonna. How many has it got? That's a resolution of. Let me see. Right, 32 by 32. Gosh.
No.
Equal. Oh no, that's not it. 32
that's not right.
by 32 equals. Yeah, 1,024. Ty gets the Sonic Talk Maths Challenge.
And they say that musicians are not good mathematicians.
There we go. Good word there, Ty. Yeah. So 1,024 resolution screen, I suppose, effectively is what you're talking about. Anyway, let's move on, because there's another video. Yay! Much the same. This is one that Gaz wanted to talk about. I didn't put it in the show notes, so you'll be at a slight disadvantage, probably. This again is it's an iPad-based sequencer. It's very industrial electro kind of vibe. Yeah, let's see the bloody thing. This is what it looks like, because they've finally got around to showing it. So you can do all of this stuff in it that's on the iPad. Yeah, all right. Hold on. I'm sorry, that demo's kind of blown it a little bit. So, Gaz, you've got 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
No,
okay. This, I think, is probably one of the most exciting releases on the iPad in many times. I think, where we've had really good MIDI sequences. Genome is a really good one on the iPad, but this one actually takes so many elements and puts it all in one place. In one place, you can kind of sequence all your apps inside your iPad, but also it's really, really good. Plays really well with all your hardware sequences. So, for instance, this is superb if you want to kind of do polyphonic sequencing and you kind of have it connected to all sorts of stuff. You can kind of have all sorts of scales and chords and everything that you can play from it. Multiple channels. There's also built in a sequencer and a sampler, and you can kind of bring. There's also lots of templates. There's a template editor, and in the template editor, it's got all the Volcans, for instance, and all the Volcans are all got all the MIDI facilities mapped to it. So if you want to sequence your Volcans, you can do that with it. It kind of mixes all this idea of kind of internal stuff, external stuff, all in one place. It's kind of Ableton Live on an iPad.
Oh my!
Can I say, Gaz,
that was all very good.
Do you do the voiceovers at the end of radio adverts that say your home may be unless you? Is that you? Really quick.
That was awesome.
That was amazing.
I really do think this is a really cool. I've been waiting for this for quite a long time. I think I saw it first on Create Digital Music back in February, I think it was. So I've been really excited about it, and because it's by the people who made Touchable, and I go on and on and on about Touchable. It's so good.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because I mean, ultimately, a sequencer on the iPad, a proper one, makes the most sense because it's not doing all that much. It's not going to tax the CPU. You could do lots and lots. And the thing that's good, there's one thing that I would like to say about this is, it is, where's my notes? I did write this down. It'll work on iOS 5 up. 5.1 won't.
And it works, crucially, on an iPad 1.
Yeah.
And it only works for MIDI on an iPad 1. But really, I mean, that's what I'm interested in, really, as a MIDI sequencer. But, so if you've got that iPad 1 doing, looking for that killer app to sort of, give it a second life,
$20.
I think it's the one.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's so cool.
That is nifty. I know, Mark, you've got an iPad, so you probably could use this. I'm not sure if anybody else is, as we've talked about other sequencers, is probably not so interested in step sequencing. How about it?
I like step sequencing. Will I use it? Don't know. I haven't used my iPad for music for a while. It seems to have been relegated to eBay at the moment, my iPad. But maybe if this runs on earlier iPad, because I've got the first iPad Mini. I don't know. I think I might buy one of those the Connect things, the iConnect 4 thing. The audio interface, and then I'll have an audio interface on the iPad, and maybe it will get integrated back in. But I've gone very into the world of the Launchpad at the moment.
Oh,
and
well, that's
really
good.
Enjoying that.
Something to explore.
Yeah. Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, as we know, I mean, but it does make a certain amount of sense because I mean, my iPad is purely used for switching this lot mostly now, but this would run on that. But I do like the idea of having. I wish it would record long form because that's something that is actually quite hard to find. A sequencer that records long form MIDI, time stamped, just a MIDI file with a load of events on it with a tempo that's not tied to the Line 6 mobile MIDI, whatever it was called, or the IK. There are just not, I can't find any applications that will just record MIDI, which is curious in many ways. And run in the background. Yeah, I can't think of one. And one that could record from RT MIDI input, so Wi-Fi MIDI, any of that stuff. There just doesn't seem to be one in existence. I wonder what this has. Anyway, I'm glad you put that in. $20. It's available now. I think it became available this morning. Actually, while we're on the subject of MIDI, I did get an email from a chap at Syntedon. That's syntedon.com, who's actually done some HTML5 editors for a couple of instruments. So this is an editor for the Nord Rack 2X, and it fully functional, pretty impressive work here. So the whole thing, I think these are just free. You can download them from syntedon.com, and basically it gives you, so using web MIDI, so you need Chrome and then just some sort of web MIDI. You could pipe the web MIDI out to an audio to a MIDI interface. Has also done a Roland TR8 editor as well, which is an interesting concept. I'm not sure what you'd use that for because you can get to most of the parameters there, but just shows you what can be done with HTML5 and web MIDI. That is quite an impressive piece of work. I think you'll agree. I don't know if there's any use for that. But it'll run on, because it's HTML5, it'll run on tablets, and so you could have a small dedicated editor on not an iPad or maybe an Android device, which was you can pick those up for next to nothing now and have a fairly large screen. So that's kind of neat. I don't know what the timing and stuff like, but for an editor, it's probably not so important. If anyone's interested, I can see that it's really captured your imagination as a group.
Nick, just one thing. We've Ableton Live Link has kind of gone live in the last week, and actually there's an update coming to BeatStep, which is going to, I think it's actually been submitted to the App Store, so that'll have Ableton Live Link functionality in it. The core gaps have kind of gone live with Ableton Live Link. I think everyone knows. Does everyone know what that is?
Yeah, it's like a kind of Wish thing where everything joins up together.
I thought I didn't. I was like, wow, look, this has come out. And then Ty pointed out to me.
We did talk about it
a few weeks ago.
Well, and I was like, we did when the new Ableton was out. Yeah, but that's
random memory loss.
Oh, there he goes. Caught on camera, boozing. There's a prize for that in there. Second bottle. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me find. Where's that Sonic State Bingo? I'm going to try and find that. I'll bring it up just because it.
Sonic State Bingo.
No, Sonic Talk Bingo, wasn't it? Sonic Talk Bingo.
Yeah, Sonic Talk Bingo. It's a drinking game.
Bingo, right? Sonic Talk Bingo. Let's see if I can find that because I did. That was a. I don't think Reactor. Yeah, Reactor 6 Sonic Talk Bingo. Oh, what's that? Reactor. Oh, that's the site. I can't find it. I don't know where the URL is anymore. Maybe somebody in the chat room, if they would be so kind, could post the Sonic Talk Bingo link if they can still find it, because I can't dig it out myself at the moment. Okay, but look, what's that? Are you projecting a webcam?
What? So while I was setting up, I downloaded that. Downloaded the Rise
application.
Instrument. It's epic. It's epic.
Works
for
fantastic.
the iPhone.
Yeah, it works fantastic. Yeah.
It's so responsive. I couldn't believe it.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That was the Roly Noise thing. Yeah, we posted that. Roly Noise. Here we go. Let's have a look at that. This is the.
Excited about that.
What's this?
This is works on iPhone 6s. Well, and previous. But have I got any noise? Oh no, I haven't got any sound. Here we go. Takes the sort of the Seaboard Rise type of interface and sticks it and a cut down version of Eclipse and sticks it on
Equator.
Equator. That's it. Oh, we're riffing on that. Hold on, I'm going to stop that. You've tried that,
the great
Robbie.
thing is, as Robbie just said.
Neat. Sorry.
As Robbie just said, when you link it, the Bluetooth, the actual Rise itself, the Rise keyboard, into the iPhone, it really is it basically is a kind of really good cut down version of Equator, but it's really good. So you basically just with Rise and your iPhone, you get a really good. Yeah, it's fantastic. Sounds.
You have to do that again, Robbie. That our audience didn't see that one. You held that up. You held. So you're running it on the iPhone. Oh, you taking it?
I'm running it on the iPhone. I've just plugged it into my little nano projector.
Ah, look at that. That is two very current pieces of technology.
And then I've got the Rise here and I'm playing it.
You should be endorsed to the max.
That's epic. Yeah, I'm going to love playing to this. This is going to be great.
Excellent.
Anyway,
awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. What else have we got? A mod step. That was mod step. Oh, here we go. This was interesting. Or maybe it's not. See what you think. This is a kind of tiny little modular synth. Nano synth NS1. So it's basically a bunch of controllers. I'm guessing I don't know if it's analog or digital, but you use these little kind of jumpers just to patch, and you can create a whole bunch of modular type patches. It reminds me of that. What was that micro mono thing that we saw a while ago? That was
Tiny Sizer.
Tiny Sizer. Yeah, it's a similar kind of principle, I suppose, but less complex. The Tiny Sizer was had a bit more going on. It's got some digital effects in it and stuff. Only $249.
Why is it?
I won't play the whole thing. There's a whole load of videos. Sorry, what was that question, Robbie?
I nearly wanted to kill myself after listening to that demo. I watched the whole thing, and it's just that loop just going incessantly round and round and round. It was like being put on hold at some terrible call centre. But I mean, that's no slight on the synth itself. But I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, the only thing I think about those things is I always wish they would just. I know they're meant to be sort of a bit sort of mad professor sort of science lab type thing. But I always feel that it'd be nice if they made an option where you could have like a proper finished cover on it. So you can't, you don't see all the solder joints and all that nonsense. It's like a proper, something that sort of like covers it up a bit.
Okay, but
just because I always feel a bit vulnerable, like plugging things into sockets where I can see them like wet soldered to the board and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It always just feels a bit kind of.
I take your point. I think that's a valid one. I mean, it looks kind of fun. I wouldn't mind getting one of those for Christmas. I don't think I'm going to though. Have you ordered one yet? Then, Ty?
You should look at these fingers. I have a prime example of sausage fingers, and so anything that small for me, as I'm finding with the boutique stuff, is difficult. And I'd like to be found with Robbie on this one. Is the fact that I love the idea of it, and again, for some people, it'll be anyone that wants to start off and get into modular. I think it's a fantastic idea that you can just sit there and do it. But I mean, for me, no, I have to have proper sockets and I have to have it finished in a case. Even when I bought the pocket operator things, I had to buy the rubber cases just because I couldn't bear to see, a half finished things. That's just the way I am. Unfortunately, I take after Robbie.
I'm just looking to see. I
think it's fantastic. I think the idea of it is brilliant. And when I was younger, I would have absolutely killed to have something like this.
I'm just looking to see if it's got any CV IO. I can't see anything on there at the moment because that would make it a bit more interesting as well. But I can't see if it does. I know, Gaz. This, for some reason, I think this would appeal to you because it's nano. It's got nano in the word in the title, and it's small. That's as far as my train of thought got.
Yeah. No, it does look pretty cool. It does look those little patchy things. Is that a bit like the Moog Mother? The same, not the Moog Mother.
Yes,
sorry,
that's right.
The work stat.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. Yeah, I think so. It is actually very similar.
Which, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's something that I've talked about many a time on the show. People are saying, "Oh, when's Gaz going to get into modular?" And I've always been a bit, because I've got this kind of hatred of wires. I feel tormented daily on my cables and wires and
I can see that would be like your worst nightmare then, really, is what you're saying, rather than a thing of joy and fun.
Playing with the Erebus and linking the Erebus up with the
beat step
things, actually beat step, and actually the SQ1.
Have you tried two sequences into the Erebus because you've got two voices, haven't you? Yeah.
And actually the SQ. I've been having a bit more fun with the SQ1 actually and the Erebus, but also crossing from the Erebus to the Micro Brute as well, and just sort of, going, oh no, I'm doing it now, aren't I?
Have you tried modulating the delay time? That's really nice. That's lovely.
I have done that, and I've been trying to modulate the delay time from the LFO from the Micro Brute as well. So having these devices and the leads going across, I'm going.
You're going to find you need an attenuator pretty soon, and then that'll be.
I'm going down there. Yeah. So it's actually, speaking of attenuators, and maybe the chat room can help me out with this one. The clock out of the BeatStep Pro will not drive the Volcas out of the sync with the sync input.
Really?
Or the SQ1. I think it's too hot.
I think there's
you need an attenuator. It's too strong a signal.
Oh, really? I thought is there nothing in the MIDI command center software that allows you to set that? Oh, all right.
You can set the step resolution from one step, or 24 ppq or 48 ppq, I think. So one step is essentially what you want it to do. But it just goes bonkers. It just
oh dear, that's not what you want, is it?
And people are saying that you need to sort of somehow step down the clock voltage. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you would. Well, you just need some sort of attenuation. Yeah.
Attenuator.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you might be able to do it. You might be able to do it with the nano core patch blocks or whatever it's called. That thing. That might work.
Okay. So, I'm very interested if anyone has actually managed to do that. Drive either the SQ1 or a Volca from the BeatStep Pro out the clock out, because I've kind of got the MIDI stuff all going off doing other things. So I just, in my plan, was always to drive that from the clock out.
You could probably get inline attenuators. In fact, I'm sure Ed's got these patch cards that have got like a little slider on them. They're a bit like, those inline headphone volume things you get on Buds sometimes. And I'm fairly sure there are little things that will do that. So you could, rather than you could put off an actual module, than getting into module world just by getting some leads. I don't know where you get them from, but if you look online, you should be able to pick something up, and then you'll be able to attenuate it down.
Okay.
I know, Mark. I'm wondering whether this is something that might appeal to you with your circuit bending history.
It does appeal to me. It is real analog, isn't it?
Or
the way the manual is written,
it's got VCA. Yes, I think maybe it does.
It talks about calibrating and stabilizing the VCOs and the VCFs.
It is analog. Yeah,
it must be real analog.
It is.
So that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And I'm guessing those patch leads those look like the kind of connectors that you would connect things that plug onto boards with. So the patch leads are probably 1 millimeter.
Yes, they are. They're tiny little things. Yeah.
Which means, depending on what they're made of,
they're like breadboard
bend
connectors.
Or snap very easily.
Yeah. But they're also dirt cheap. You can buy like 100 of them.
I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, now that looks like fun. But there's two things that make it not viable in my world. And one of them is it doesn't have a built-in speaker. Anything that size that doesn't have a built-in speaker is going to have to be plugged in somewhere, which means wherever I go with it, it's not really going to be as portable as it immediately seems to be,
I see what you mean.
if you know what I mean. Like this, the iPhone, I can make music with this. I can suddenly be inspired and go, I put that in and I can hear it. I don't have to go around finding anything else. I just do it. And then the other thing is the power supply. It needs power from somewhere. So again,
5 volts.
I'm going to have to plug it into something somewhere to get power into it. But I don't know if it's really analog and it's
you get one of those
small and it works, then maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to try one.
Can I just flag something that I'm sure it's an old instrument now, but I mean, I haven't seen that many people still using them, and they are, kind of almost a toy. And I know they've been out for ages, but the little bits, the Korg little bit synth.
Yeah, that's right. That's.
I just want to keep flagging these up. Only the fact that I bought it when they first came. I kind of got it when you could only get them in the States, and I got one sent over and got one for a friend for Christmas. And honestly, it is phenomenal. I mean, the sounds. It's all very much. It's kind of like the. Monomachine, not the Monomachine.
The Monotron.
Yeah.
Monotron.
Has
and
it
it's
got
that
a speaker,
kind of
though?
sound.
It's got a little speaker.
It has got a speaker.
Oh, it comes with a
and
speaker. Will it run off battery?
The nice thing, it runs off battery. Yeah. But the nice thing about it is that you literally, you can then buy, once you've got the basic synth setup, you can buy bits to add onto it. So you can add USB onto it. You can add, MIDI onto it.
Yeah,
you can.
It's expensive if you do it that way. I mean, the basic kit on eBay here looks like 260 quid for that.
It's the synth Lego thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I remember
it is the synth Lego. Yeah, that's right.
It is, but it's the nice thing is it sounds better than it really should sound. It does sound, it's. I can't explain how much fun it is. It's such fun, and the delay on it is incredible. The delay is absolutely fantastic. And it's one of those things, it came out, it kind of slipped a bit under the radar. And I just keep waving a little flag saying, if you want to learn about synthesis or you want something that's it's just like a toy. It's like a big boy's toy, but not like we're used to toys now because we always say, an app on our iPhone, that's a toy, or this is a toy. Yeah. This honestly feels like when we were kids and we were playing with Lego. It feels like that.
I think that's the idea.
And some of the sounds I got out of this are honestly incredible. And the times when I sit there looking at all this expensive gear going, I think I might tell someone that I did this on a Moog rather than
have you actually used it in anger then?
I've actually used it on projects. There are, especially if you want to do weird and wonderful kind of sci-fi 1950s 1960s where the synthesis was really basic then and whatever. It's fantastic at that. It's brilliant and honestly worth checking out.
Okay,
really fantastic.
When I did the review of the Little Bits expansion kit, the Little Bits Pro kit, I think it's called, where it adds a CV and gate and MIDI and USB kind of functionality to it. And when I was doing in preparation for the review, I had them on my dining room table, and when friends came around, they friends who really, honestly, switch off whenever I start talking about music tech, just completely disconnect.
Or lock you in a room.
Yeah. Those particular friends really loved the little bits. And one friend in particular, who a friend of me and Robbie's, she particularly loved it because for the first time she actually understood synthesis. You know, it enabled her just to kind of go, oh, okay, all the components, and the way it goes together. And I completely agree, Ty. And it's the MS-20 filter, though, isn't it? So it's a real classic.
more or less.
So, have they extended it at all? Because wasn't there polls to try and add more modules? Have they added any?
There was.
Yeah, the LFO.
They've only done with the.
Well, it got voted. They have to for new little bits modules. Yeah. There's like some sort of like voting process, and the LFO did get voted to be made, but I check regularly, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not been made yet.
Out. But that was the only missing thing from the little bits, really. Well, you could do that. You can do. I have done that, but a dedicated LFO is on its way, and I think once that comes out, I think people should maybe check out the little bits again.
Little bits Mark II or something.
But I mean, because I bought another oscillator that basically I used as another LFO. It doesn't quite. I mean, it's not. It doesn't go really kind of quite low enough, but it definitely adds some. Lots of kind of ring mods type stuff that kind of you couldn't really do any other way, because you can kind of, people that don't know it, you basically plug anything into anything, just like Lego essentially. So if you want to have an oscillator that goes into another oscillator and then goes into a filter, or you stick the filter between the oscillators and then before the envelope, you basically just plug it in however you want. Mm-hmm. There's no fixed. And you literally it's just fantastic just to experiment, thinking, I wonder what would happen if I just, if I put the sequencer before the, the delay after the, it's fantastic. It's
bonkers things. In fact, really in our review, when we filmed our review, we had it doing some bonkers stuff. I think if you haven't seen that review, the Little Bits review that we did, the Sonic State Little Bits Pro review, we did this thing with it controlling a piano.
Messing around
with the order. It started doing some stuff like live on cam that I was really sort of, it took me by surprise. It really was, and it's beautiful, isn't it? That whole thing of that unexpected, and it's nice with the little bits. So you can't connect things
so it breaks
wrongly, because the magnetism
it just won't work.
You just won't. The magnets don't let you put it together, so you have to flip the magnet around, and then it clicks together. Really cool. Yeah.
Anyway,
nice on time.
Good call, Ty. Very well worth it. It is a bit pricey though, as a starter. If you've, but it's worth checking out. Sorry, Mark, you wanted to come in there.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just looking on eBay for Little Bits things, and I've noticed you can buy individual bits for things. But I found Korg Little Bits Electronics DC motor, and there's a little tiny DC motor which you can
what for
fit into something. And then I found Korg Little Bits Electronics servo, which looks like something out of the radio-controlled planes that I used to make with my dad.
I think the confusion there is Little Bits as a system was around before Korg.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's picking up those keywords.
Oh yeah.
Well, why is it saying Korg in the listing? It says Korg.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Well, here we go. Look, actually, I take it all back. Look, there's a Korg Little Bit synth kit for £85 here. That's a bargain. That's worth having.
Yeah, £85. £85. Brilliant.
Anyway, that's a top way to end the show. A bit of if you get one for it's probably too late to get one in time for Christmas, but maybe
Amazon.
Amazon
Prime.
Amazon, Super Prime.
Exactly.
Yeah. Amazon Santa service. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's probably a great time to stop the show. I want to say thank you ever so much to all our guests, past and present and future, for joining us. Obviously, it's been great to have you all aboard, and it's always fun. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to all of you folks in the chat room. Nice to see you there. All a happy Christmas and New Year to you. As I say, we're not having another show until January, so we won't be around next Wednesday. I shall be, hopefully. I might go and see Star Wars. I might be watching Star Wars at that time. So anyway, thanks everybody. I want to say thank you first to Mark Tinley. Have a great Christmas, and we'll see you again in the new year.
You will. Yes. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.
Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat room, everybody who watches, all
Excellent.
of you.
Very much agree. And Gaz, you can now get back to your party. It's dark now, so you are legally permitted to drink beer more speedily.
I've managed to do 2 bottles during the show, so that's
wow.
cool.
They look really big, those bottles, but they're not, are they? They're big Leffy bottles. Oh, they're the other. Yeah, right.
They're 750. They're 750 mil. So
good. Jesus Christ, and that's like 6% lager.
It's 6.6%.
Nice.
But no, it's good. It's kind of I'm ready for the party. It's helped me kind of.
You're ready to start.
Yeah.
Does this mean now you've got it all out of your system? You're not going to go and bore everybody with music technology conversation. You've now sort of it's evacuated.
No.
He's going to go and fire up. He's going to fire up his road.
Mariah Carey's going to be back up and running.
I mean, when I come to parties. I've got this proliferation of small battery devices, so I'm always deciding when I go to parties which ones should I take.
That sounds really bad, Gaz. That sounds very bad.
Bad?
What have you brought?
Yeah, it sounds very bad.
No, well, actually, because I'm in a mod steppy sort of mood, I'm actually just iPad with mod step, but I've set up a really complex patch on mod step that I'm going to inflict on everyone in a bit.
Right.
But contrary to actually get it all out of my system, it hasn't. It's actually kind of all this stuff has stimulated me.
Oh, no.
I'm ready to go and tell everyone. I got such a lot of things now I want to go and inflict on everyone else now.
Well, make sure it starts with the shaking of some sleigh bells, Gaz. And happy Christmas to you.
Yeah, and let me just say, I want to say thank you ever so much to everybody who, in the chat room and, and all the lovely comments and all the great things. It's so cool. It's such a lovely thing to be involved with. And happy Christmas, everybody. Yeah, brilliant.
Good sentiment. Thank you, Gaz. And, of course, also Ty Unwin there, who at least is going to get some time over Christmas. And I hope you are not spending the time off you've got dreaming about the work that you've got to do. So I hope you get... No, good.
No. I'm taking some proper time out and I just want to check with Gaz if Gaz actually understands the word of the concept of friends and parties, and the words inflict aren't normally what I associate with friends and parties, to be fair.
Oh no, that's
depends on the party.
From my point of view, this is the bit where you'll get all emotional, and obviously I'm kind of new kid on the block here, and I just want to say, I've only been part of this lot for a few months, and everyone's made me feel so welcome, and everyone in the chat room and everyone on Sonic Talk and Sonic State and everything. And, genuinely, I've been really made welcome, so I really appreciate that. And I really look forward to these. So thank you all, everybody. Really do. And I hope everyone has a fantastic Christmas and a really productive New Year, and I hope it's as good as everyone wants it to be.
Thank you. That's a very great message. Thank you very much. And finally, Mr. Robbie Bronniman, who's back. I guess you're broke for Christmas now. You're not going back down to do any more production work.
I came back down today from my last bit of work. So yeah, this is it.
The end.
Yeah.
When Gaz will come back down.
till January the 5th.
Excellent. Well, good for you, and have a great Christmas to you. And again, thank your client for his time. He's let you have off while you've been on the show, and we're always welcome. So thank you very much.
Always a pleasure, never a chore, as they say.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, that Mark.
Wait.
Have I said no? I've said what? Did I say goodbye to Mark?
You have, yes, and I said Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. Yes.
Sorry, my fault.
That's what's called backseat production after 1.5 litres of left.
I might say Merry Christmas twice. I could say it again.
Say it again. Yeah. Gaz wants you to. I don't know if anybody actually remembers. It's a very UK thing, but there used to be in between the children's programmes on ITV and BBC. There used to be Gus Honeybun, and they do things like. Okay, Gus wants you to turn the lights off. So Gaz wants you to say Merry Christmas, Mark. You can perform.
Merry Christmas.
Very good. Excellent. And I'm going to leave you all with, well, that's it. Maybe I don't think I'll play any more of Mariah Carey. We'll just fade to black. And also, all right.
Play it.
All right. And also, Merry Christmas to the chat room. And Rich Hilton's in the chat room as well. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. It's been a wonderful year, and we look forward to coming back in the new year where we'll have NAMM and all of those other things. So thanks very much. That's it. I'll play this, and you can enjoy or not.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, no. I'm heading for the oven.
I heard underneath there, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard years as well then. That was it too.
There we go. Goodbye. Ho, ho, ho.
Brilliant.
That's interesting. We all heard that.